Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, January 16th, 2026, and we are in the truck. Pre-trip been done, paperwork been started. We're going to be rolling in a few minutes, just letting this finish warming up a little bit, waiting for our start time, and then we're going to roll out. We have a nice variety for you guys today. We got one out of the Red Barn going over to Allentown, then we come back up, go to Tamaqua, grab one, go to Fogelsville, and then from there we drop the tank, grab a van, and go up to Hazleton. So 3 trips, 3 different things. So pretty cool day today. Weather's cold. It's only 15 right now, so we're gonna deal with frozen stuff. But anyway, somebody pulled in next to me. I have to see who it is, but that's how the day's going, and we'll talk to you out there, see who's at the Red Barn, and then mosey our way to Allentown and talk to you on the way down there. Alright, so we're heading up the road to the Red Barn, and as you can see, and I told you that today is going to be a nice day. It's going to be cold, and I don't even know if it's going to get above 30 today, but as far as the skies, it should be partly to mostly sunny most of the day. I don't know, the TV weather guy said that clouds were going to increase this afternoon, but National Weather Service said it was going to be partly sunny or mostly sunny, so we'll see what we get out of that. But no precipitation. That's tomorrow. We could get up to an inch of snow and snow showers tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. I'm hoping not, because when there's no snow on the ground, even when it's cold out, it just doesn't have the same cold feeling that it does when the ground is all covered in snow and ice. So if we can maintain a snow-free landscape, that would be very helpful for my psyche anyway, so that it doesn't feel as cold as it's actually is. Yeah, proper English there for sure. But anyway, we are here now. Let's see if anybody else is here. We have 2 loading stations now. I showed you that a while back, and I got a little story about that that's kind of funny. And well, nobody's here. We can go on to our normal one instead of using the new one. I prefer to go on to the furthest one away, so that if somebody else comes in, they don't have to try to work around me to back in, because I had to do that the other day, and it was a blindside almost U-turn back to get into the loading station. So, but I misjudged it. I'm gonna have to wiggle my way back. Oh God. I got used to coming in here with the Mac that turned better. I gotta get over to the left a little bit. I'm too far to the right. But I don't come up here that often anymore. It seems like I'm mostly at the Tamaqua well or the well in the woods. So they changed the hoses too. This one's longer than it used to be, so you gotta watch how close you get. I'm still a little more right than what I'd like to be, but I think we can work with it. Now it's just a matter of getting a feel of where to put the back of the truck, because, like I said, the hose is longer. Alright, so normally I like to stand somewhere near the truck and use that as my background, and you know, the back of the truck, the hoses where I'm hooked up and everything. But one of the things with this winter that's been really annoying is the wind. And again, today the wind is an issue, and so I am not going to stand out here and talk to you guys. I'm going to come down here and let the barn block the wind a little bit. It's a little bit warmer down here. The wind just, with the open field out there ahead of us, the wind is just really strong. And even on days that it isn't super windy out, the wind blows up here. And so when it's windy out, then it blows even more. And when it's 15 degrees and the wind blowing, it gets plenty cold. So But we're loading up the first one here. Nobody was here, as you saw. We had to back up just a little bit more. I wasn't close enough. But we're hooked up and we're loading. The paperwork was drawn up, entered everything into the computer. So now we're just going to go inside and sit where it's warm and wait till we're loaded and then unhook and be on our way. All right. Famous catchphrase, loaded and rolling. With that longer hose here, makes it harder to disconnect than it used to be. This used to be such an easy place to hook and unhook at, but they put a longer hose on here and it kind of pinches back there, and it's harder to not so much harder to connect, but I had a hard time disconnecting it. I had to really wiggle it around, and you want to be careful. You don't want to, there's some residual water that runs out when you pull the hose, and you don't want to get wet, not when it's this cold out. So it was a bit of a struggle to get that hose unhooked, but we did it, and we're rolling now. You know, the routine, you got to go down here and do our favorite right-hand turn where we can't see what's coming up over the hill. But say, yeah, that's wrong. I'm looking at the temperature on the truck because I was sitting there idle and it says it's 33 degrees. It is not 33 degrees out. If anything, it might have went up a little bit. It might be about 23, not 33. But, cold weather just drains me. It just drains me. Makes me tired. I am built for a warm climate. I don't like having to layer up and be restricted with clothing. I'm a shorts and t-shirt kind of guy. It's so nice when you can just throw that on and go to work, and there's a lot of extra stuff that goes on when it's cold like this, and then the added having to hammer a torch, or in my case, I've been using the alcohol to evaporate the water back there at the cap, and it seems to be working pretty good. If anything, I need to give it just like one tap of the hammer instead of trying to, sometimes you have to beat on it to get it off, or use the torch. And I shy away from using the torch because you go through the whole process of unhooking and buttoning everything up, and then you forget the hammer and or the torch back there on the bumper of the truck. You drive away and then you don't have it anymore because it falls off somewhere along the way. So I try to not use the torch if I don't have to. So, but here we are. Let's see how we do. I'm gonna take it all the way over here to the left. This way we don't cross that yellow line coming out of here. Bad enough we got to worry about one direction of traffic. It looks good. Let's hope it stays good. See, this way I can come out, not cross that yellow line, and not run the trailer up over that guardrail there. So, but that's pretty cool today. Now finally I see something coming up over the knoll, but we had a nice clean shot actually both directions. All right, well, we just rolled past 15th Street. We're coming up on 7th Street, MacArthur Road, and this is usually where the chaos takes place, but we're rolling along pretty good. Get over here. Some of these guys are going a little slow. They're probably going to be getting off at 7th Street here or whatever, but this is where the heaviest merge point is on this freeway generally, at least west of Bethlehem. Because 145 7th Street MacArthur Road is a pretty busy road coming up out of Allentown, and then you got the shopping malls out here and a couple of motels and different things going on, so there's more traffic volume here. So just ride this left lane through, although nobody's coming off that ramp now. But it looks more congested up there. We were free rolling really well across the valley from 100 to this point, and then you see a lot of trucks up there. It looks a little more congested. once we get past this red pickup truck, we'll move back right and we'll just stay there. We're doing pretty good. Like I said, we were off rush hour, so not too bad down here right now. Gotta slow down just a little bit probably here, but we're close enough to the plan at this point, so just ride it out rather than try to fight to get over after we cross the Lehigh River. Because then once we cross the Lehigh River, then you pull a little hill, and it's just enough to pull this down because of our load. And then sometimes it's kind of hard to get back over into this lane before we get to Airport Road, which is our get-off point. All right, so we have arrived. And I was just thinking about it. The last time that I was here, and we were here, was that snowy day that wasn't supposed to be a snowy day. Ended up being colder than what the weather forecasters had thought, and the rain stayed snow and made for a mess of everything, and we actually ended up dropping a load that night because we wouldn't have got back in time for our night shift partner. But no threat of snow today. That comes tomorrow. You got this nice sharp turn here. Try to remember where we set up. Gonna be a little icy here, I think, the way it looks. Nah, not too bad. Not too bad. You gotta put it in the right spot for the hose to connect. I think it is hopefully right there. All right, so this is the easiest one for me to show you the hookup procedure, because I really don't have to worry about anybody coming while I'm here. Usually only one driver does this, unless they're really running heavy. So first things first is pull the seal, set it aside, because we need to take that in with us, because they do check that. Now, see that? Putting the alcohol on here, dried it right up. Didn't even need my hammer, which is a nice cute little handheld one I can stick in my pocket and not leave on the bumper. Now, let's see. Hopefully, there we go. Unlock. Unlock. Put the key back. It takes a little bit of time. This must be the salt storage, because this place can get really icy when we run a lot of trucks in here. So, open that up. Open this up. Pull this cap. Sanitize that fitting. Sanitize that fitting. We got to hook up this adapter, this little bleeder, and there we go. Seems like there was a little bit of ice on it, and we're going to sanitize this fitting right now. And we're going to pull this one out a little bit, sanitize it, sanitize this. Sanitation, sanitation, sanitizing. Now, this is gonna bounce out. Unless you have two people here, there's no way to, whoa! You watch the ice, it's gonna bounce down on the ground. Oh, there's no way to avoid that. Oh, hook that up. And we definitely make sure that we sanitize this one real good, because, like I said, it did hit the ground. But we can't avoid that. Get it hooked up. Oh, I probably could have pulled up just a little bit further, but we're okay. Put this horse under it to level the hose out. Open tank valve. Open building valve. Open that valve. There we go. Press start. And we are flowing. And then we give them a call and let them know we're here. Water truck to the plant. Have a delivery for you. There we go. And that's that. Now we just take them the paperwork and check in. Alright, so as you can see, I brought hat cam out with me today, partly because I knew I was coming over here where I have the best chance of showing you the hookup process uninterrupted, plus the fact that I'm not 100% sure I'm supposed to do that, but I know you all want to see it, so I want to give you what you want, but I got to be careful. And the other thing I had mentioned a video or two ago is I can't do hat cam if it's raining or snowing, because the little pod that goes up into the hat isn't waterproof. So if it's raining, I can't do hat cam, other than if I use it to for my driving segment. But anyway, we're unloading, and I know it takes about a half hour here to unload, and I can see the hose from the mirror. I know when it's empty, so we're gonna sit in the truck. We're not gonna stand outside and freeze. So anyway, that's that, and we'll talk to you on the way back up. Like I said, next up is Tamaqua Well down to Fogelsville. All right, we are done. Empty. Trailer buttoned up, box locked up, hoses put away, and we are leaving, heading up to Tamaqua to get load number 2 that is going to go down to Fogelsville. Kind of got a little cloudy while we were there. Coming in here, the sun was still out, and now all of a sudden we've got kind of a high cloud deck that's muting the sun. So I don't know, maybe the weather guys were right when they said it was, or the TV weather guy said that it was going to get cloudy today. So maybe he was right. We will see. It's a shame, because I much prefer doing these videos when it's sunny out. I think they have a better color contrast and stuff over the gray videos, but of course, I don't control the weather. If I did, it would be 70 degrees right now and not 25. So, but yeah, the routine. We're gonna make our way out of this industrial park, get back out to Airport Road, get on 22, cruise across the valley, and back up to Tamaqua and load her up again. All right, here's our turn, and I was just about to say, let's see if we're gonna make anybody back up, and it looks like we are going to, unless I swing it out wide. I've got a car coming, but he's back there pretty far. Nope, he's gonna back up. He knew it. Okay, well, I was gonna swing it wide. If I take it off in the other lane, I can do it, but he backed up for me, and he was friendly about it. Sometimes I can see him jawing away in there because I forced him to back up and inconvenience them, but he was quite friendly about it. Maybe he's a driver. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, almost to the well. We'll talk to you when we're loading. All right, so we're here hooked up and loading, and the last driver that was here had never loaded here before, and he had the hose backwards. One end disconnects from the truck much easier than the other one, and I had figured it out and put seals on it. Well, somebody took the seals off it, but that guy took the hose out of the building the wrong way and hooked up the wrong end and put it back the wrong way, and it was all the curve was wrong, and it was just so hard to hook up, so I had to pull it out and switch it around and hook it back. I almost couldn't get the hose off the truck, because like I said, one side for some reason does not want to disconnect from the truck and the other side does. So I put the seals back on, left a note. Hopefully everybody gets the hint, and hopefully everybody leaves the seals on, because if you hook it up the wrong way, it is just a bear to disconnect it. I found that out when I was pulling the 8s, and a couple times I ended up on my back trying to unhook the thing, because once it finally gave way, it gave way and me and the hose went flying backwards. So hopefully they get the message and hook it up the right way. But anyway, we're loading, and we'll talk to you on the way down there with this one. Hopefully the plant's running well. Alright, so we are loaded. We are heading down to Fogelsville, and if I sound a little down at the moment, I just got some news that kind of put me in a little bit of a funk. I mean, it doesn't affect me on a personal level, but it still does, because guy's a friend of mine. One of our drivers here is a good friend. I talk to him on the phone on a regular basis. Called him to tell him about the hose and see how the plant, ask him how the plant was running down there. And when he answered, he didn't sound the same. Wasn't the same normal chipper self. And so I asked him what was wrong. And here, while he's working today, his mom passed away. And oh my God, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I was fortunate enough to be with my mom when it happened to her, and this poor gentleman was working when his mom passed, and it's got to be difficult. I don't know if she was sick and he expected it, or if it came sudden, but either way, when I got that news, my heart just sank for the man. I gave him my condolences, told him I was sorry, and I really limited my phone call. I didn't even ask him anything about work. I just kept saying I was sorry, and then let him go so he could grieve in his own way. And God, I don't know. So, I mean, I will probably cheer up later on, and the video will get more positive, but right now that just kind of bums me out, because like I said, he's a friend of mine, he's a good guy, and he got hit with a sudden shocker, and sad. But anyway, we just turned on the 309 here, heading southbound. Get down there, hopefully the plant's running well, we can unload quickly and drop and hook, get that van, and head on up to Hazleton and do what we need to do. It's Friday, I just want to get home too, and oh God. Anyway, man, I'm just kind of bummed out right now, so I'll talk to you later. I don't know, maybe down at the plant. We'll see. Alright, so we are hooked up to the van. We pre-tripped it, checked everything out, got our paperwork at the guard shack. We are rolling. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys while I was unloading that tank, because what we do when we do this is we hook up and get the pump started over there, and then we'll walk over to the check-in kiosk and call them from the street. And it took them a while to answer. It took them almost the entire unload process on the tank to get them to answer so I could check in. And then that was done, and then a couple guys had pulled in, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you there while I was unloading, but we are rolling now. You can see the sky has gotten more and more overcast. I don't think we're going to get any snow today yet, but late tonight or in the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, we are supposed to get some. I haven't looked at the forecast yet to see if it changed, but on my weather message board, the guys were saying that some of the computer models are kind of upping the totals a little bit, so we will see what we get tomorrow. So my dream of keeping a snow-free landscape, I don't think is going to come true. I think we're going to see some snow over the weekend. How much remains to be seen. Outside the cold so long, my nose is running now. Jeez. But anyway, we're rolling. And plenty early enough to go out the way we normally go out. It's only 12:53. It'll take about an hour and a half to get up there, and then I have no idea how long it's going to take us to check in. Yesterday it took a while. There was a long line of trucks up there. So yeah, that could be the case today, or maybe we get right up to the kiosk. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes we're able to pull right up to the kiosk and check in, and other times we got to wait in line. don't know what you're gonna get until you get there. So, but we're making our way out of here. See, that sky has that gray look, like it's gonna snow. It really looks like snow clouds. So I don't know, man. Maybe I should have looked at radar. Maybe whatever snow we're supposed to get tonight is gonna come in early. Look what happened the last time when I went over to Allentown and delivered. It was supposed to snow a little bit and then turn to rain, and it never did turn to rain. It snowed the entire time. So these guys don't get it right, and all the time. And so who knows? It could start early. Alright, so we went through Tamaqua, hometown, and we are coming up on what I have mentioned a few times to you guys, what's known as the Mile Hill. It's approximately a mile long. I don't know what the grade is, probably 6, 7, 8% grade. It's fairly steep and bumpy, you'll see, because it's been a while since I recorded on this hill, so I'll show you it again since I reference it a lot. It's nothing but a climb all the way up to Hazleton, because Hazleton is at about 15 to 1,800 feet in elevation. Lehigh Valley is only about 250 feet in elevation. Hopefully this little black car gets going here, because I want to keep my momentum up. There we go. Nothing worse than getting this light red and having to come to a complete stop before you pull this hill, because you're never going to get enough speed and you're going to go up it that much slower. Try to get a little bit of a run for it if we can. Uh-oh. Somebody must have blew off the brake check. And the only reason I laugh at a guy getting a ticket is because at the top of this hill, and I think I have showed you that before, is there is a stop sign. It's a brake check area, so that they want the big trucks over 20,000 pounds gross vehicle weight to stop before they come down this hill. And so many guys, some of them probably just missed the sign, but I think a lot of them feel like, oh, the hell with that, I'm not going to stop. Who's going, you know? And what happens is the state cop sits back and hides kind of in the woods. And these guys blow off this brake check up here, and then they get down the bottom of the hill and get pulled over, just like that oversized did, or that low boy. You see, it's a pretty steep hill, and then you got the light at the bottom. That's why they want the trucks to stop up top, and the speed limit going down the other side is only 20 miles an hour for the big trucks. And my fifth wheel puller jingling over there, and one end of it is sitting on the metal door sill, so don't mind the sound of a bell. But yeah, this hill really eats us up. Like, I'm down to 27 miles an hour already. This one is steeper than the Blue Mountain, and you got the bumps, which this truck kind of handles pretty well. If we were in the Mac, it would be rattling and riding a bit rougher than this one is. Yeah, this is a pretty formidable hill to climb. It's not a long one, but she's a steep one. I'll show you the brake check up here. It's off to our left once we get up here to the top. Oh, even in this truck, it's too bumpy. Once you get up top, now we're on that plateau that 81 runs on from Hazleton all the way down to Tower City. But there to the left, there's a wide pullout, and that's where the brake check area is. The cop sits back in the woods back there, and he just watches and waits for somebody to blow that stop sign and keep on rolling down the hill. And then they get them down at the bottom. It's their own fault. One time I got on the radio. I was behind the dude, and he blew it off, and I pulled in there, and I called out to him and told him, you know, you're supposed to stop at that stop sign, and I got the universal adjective and told me to mind my own business and drive my own truck. Well, there wasn't a cop there that day, but it would have been poetic justice if there would have been, because Because that's what I told him. I said, oh, a cop usually sits there and watches to see if you guys stop or not. And he didn't care. But he would have if he would have got a ticket that day. And I don't know how much it is, but it probably isn't cheap. But anyway, fixing to get on 81 here and finish off this northbound trek. See what we got when we get to the plant, if we're going to be delayed at the gate or if we're going to be able to pretty much get right in. Alright, so we are putting it in 114, which is right there. And this one shouldn't be too difficult, of course, though I'm recording, so I might not get it in one swoop. Yesterday I did pretty good. I had to put it in 118, which was very tight, and I did well. Of course, I didn't have the cameras with me yesterday, so we'll see how I do here. I don't think I ever had hat cam on when I was backing in, so we're gonna see how we do here. Nothing coming? Nope, nothing coming. Gotta open this door. I can't see past the stack. We'll probably have to pull up once, at least. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we get this good. But see, it takes so long to get back underneath it because there's no turning radius. Nope, see, we got off just a little bit there. I was at my limit, but there we go. Look at this. Look at this. Even with an audience. Even with an audience. Try and get it nice and centered for them in the lines. Now that night in the snow, see there's lines out there, but that night in the snow, I had no idea where those lines were. White lines, white snow, and blowing and drifting, and it was blowing in the window and everything else. I just try to bump it gently. There we are. All right. Now we just we gotta take this with us if we're gonna talk to you outside. Grab our gloves. Grab our fifth wheel puller. Unhook the air lines. Now this is the fun part. These half fenders make it a little bit more difficult than without. If we only had quarter fenders, it's a lot easier. I got to lift this up somehow and pull it back toward. There we go. Got it. Put this back in here so we don't forget it. We lost one time because I hadn't thrown it back in the truck. Easy peasy today. There was no line to get in here. I should have recorded it, but there's a big sign up on the building that I'd have to try and hide, so makes for a little extra work and editing, and so I just didn't record coming in. But yesterday there was a line. I was probably about 7 or 8 deep, and today nobody was here. There we go. All right, we are dropped. Airlines are disconnected. Legs are down. go over, use the job Johnny, and then go to the other side of the building and find our trailer. Alright, so we're over here on the other side of the building. We found our empty. It was pretty much right as we turned the corner, so we didn't have to go driving all the way up the line to look for it. And it was over here. Yesterday it was over on the other side. It was a good thing I was watching as I was coming in. Otherwise I would have drove out and would have had to go back in the line over there and wait probably another 45 minutes, just bobtail to get back in there to get my trailer. So it was a good thing I kind of watched that drop line over on the other side, just in case there are times where they stick the empty over there instead of over here. But 90% of the time it's over here, and so we found it. We're pre-tripped. Blinkers are still going yet, but we pre-tripped, and we're ready to roll on back empty. And this is it then. So all we got to do is go back to Fogelsville and grab that tank and then fuel it up for the weekend and head on home and enjoy our own weekend. Alright, so we're rolling on out of here, and for at least one load today, we were a door swinger instead of a hose slinger. But we'll go back and get the empty then, and then that's it. So we're rolling on out of here. And then we're going to go past the silos here where we unload when we bring water up here. But I don't think anybody brought any water today. We finally slowed down a little bit. December we ran hot and heavy, and first week of January we were still running pretty hot and heavy, but we finally slowed down to seasonal levels, which in the wintertime is kind of nice. You know, you got the cold weather and the ice and everything to deal with, and so sometimes it's kind of nice to back off a little bit and not have to run like crazy and hurry up and everything else, because it takes a lot longer to do what we need to do, because you gotta crack the ice to open up the caps and crack the ice to open up the valves, and the hoses are harder to work with, so it takes longer in the wintertime to do what we need to do, just to load and unload. Alright, so right up here is that stop sign and brake check area. Not that you're required to get out and actually check your brakes, but the idea of this is to stop you before you go down the hill, so you start out in lower gear. And a lot of drivers won't stop here, and then sometimes the state cop sits back there and he watches this, and anybody that decides to blow it off and think it doesn't apply to them, he gets them down at the bottom of the hill, like you saw with that blow boy when we were coming up. And it makes me laugh because there's signs for it, you know. It's not that they really miss them. There's one up there on the ramp. There's one more down here on the road, and you've got the big stop sign there. It's kind of hard to miss. So I think guys just disregard it, thinking that it doesn't apply to them, and they just keep on keeping on, or they're empty and think it doesn't apply to them, or whatever the case may be. But then they end up getting picked off down here at the bottom of the hill because the cop's waiting for them. Well, the cop's sitting back there watching them, and you get them at the bottom of the hill. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. So we're coming back down the hill we climbed before, and we'll talk to you somewhere else along the way, or down there when we swap back into the tanker. All right, well, we made it down here to the Fogelsville area, 4:24 p.m., and we're only about a mile and a half away from the plant, so doing pretty good today. We didn't have to wait when we got down there to unload. I didn't get to talk to you while I was unloading, but we were able to hook up and unload right away. There were no delays today unloading the water down there, so that was a good thing. And really, no delays checking in up down here, no delays checking in up there. Well, we had a little bit of a delay checking in down here. Not that we had to wait in line or anything, it just took them a while to answer the intercom. But up there we didn't have to wait in line at all. We just buzzed right on in, did our intercom, and they sent us down to where we needed to go, and put it in dock 114, and got our paperwork signed, and we're on our way. So, see how many of these lights we get green down here. We got Tillman Street pretty much green. We didn't have to wait long on that one. This one turned green. See see if the next few of them turn green. This is going to be a long video today. I had a lot to talk to you guys about. Might have to edit some stuff out. We'll see. But, you know, the videos are getting longer because I'm starting to figure out how to narrate these things a little better. And I enjoy showing you what I do all day long. So, well, we're going to wait a little bit. But that arrow came on, so soon this one will turn green. We're back pretty far. Traffic heavy. It is 4:30, so in the middle of rush hour down here for sure. So I'll have to figure out which way we're going to go out of the plant. If we're going to go out through the industrial park, or if we're going to go out the bottom way and come out down further and roll up 100. Usually we come out at this light here at this Yakko's Hot Dogs. And we may not even make this light. We're so far back, this thing may turn red before we get to it. The other one down there at Shantz Road is green. I don't know if we'll manage to hold that one or not, seeing as it's already green. We did hold this one. Oh, this guy gonna jump over here. See if we hold this one. I'll be surprised, because it's been green for quite a while. But we did. How about that? There, it just flipped now. I knew it was coming soon. Alright, well, we're almost here. We'll try to talk to you in there a little bit, and then somewhere along the way back up. If not on the way back up, then back at the yard when we close everything out. Alright, so talk more about that upcoming snow. On Wednesday, there was no talk of snow at all. And there was a storm that they were talking about for Monday. That kind of fizzled out, but there was no talk about a Saturday storm. And then yesterday, some of my weather enthusiast friends were starting to drop hints that the computer models were showing that there was a chance that we might get something on Saturday. Didn't look to be much, but there was a chance we'd see something on Saturday. And I woke up this morning and the National Weather Service forecast actually did have it. It said up to 1 inch, which usually means less than an inch. And it wasn't going to be a big deal. But then I noticed they were out here spraying. And so I figured I'd look at the forecast when I was down there after I used the restroom. And the total bumped up to 2 to 4 now. And so it's supposed to start tonight, like sometime around 11 p.m. and it's going to go till maybe noon tomorrow. But it said that tomorrow the snow may be heavy at times. So went from nothing to under an inch to now 2 to 4 inches. Alright, so we're back and we're parked. It took a little work to get in here. It's dark out. We're parked on the angle, so I had to do a little maneuvering to get her in here straight and parallel in between the other two trucks. But we did it. We're back. Now all we got to do is close out our paperwork, post-trip the truck, and head on home. So that's it for Friday. We'll talk to you next week.